Good morning, community. Jill here with North Texas Vegetable Gardening Canning Recipes. A little bit of everything. Feeding the chickens this morning. It's a little cool, but it's not cold. It's probably about 62 degrees, but with a very strong south wind. Walking around the property today to see if we had any kind of freeze earlier this week. We'll start to see it, and I'll show you what I'm seeing. It looks like we had a sporadic freeze, but this is my red oak. It's one of my favorite trees. It is native to Texas, and you can see some of the leaves are starting to turn red, which is, we don't get a lot of color here in Texas, guys, so this is one of the reasons why it's one of my favorite trees, but the leaves are still intact. I'm continuing to water the property because we're still very dry here and a high fire danger, but that looks like it might change for us earlier in the week, or midweek, I think. They're saying 2 to 4 inches of rain, which we will gladly take. But you can see I still have some green left here in my lawn. This is my mullein plant. I don't see any freezer burn or any freeze burn damage on it. It is looking very lush, fluffy. I need to process some in the freeze dryer. One of my patches of comfrey, you can see I'm not seeing any freezer damage or freeze damage on that. Here's one of our blackberry bushes, no freeze damage on it. Here's my taters. I'm not seeing any freeze damage on it. What this is wind damage that we had a couple of weeks ago when we got some very high winds, and I'm going to dig these up today, guys, and show you what I'm going to do with this bed. Greg got this raised bed cleaned out this week. This is my marshmallow plant. Cut it down, leave the roots in there, and I'll dig those up in the spring. This is it's a wonderful medicinal for your stomach and your digestive tract. So this is where, when I say we had a sporadic, and it just kind of touched, you can see this country grass right here. This looks like it got some frostbitten. When it turns brown like this, it's not from lack of watering, because I have been watering. This is what it looks like when our country grass starts to go dormant. But you can see I still have green in other areas. These are our paprika peppers, and you can see some of them, it looks like. Some of them did get a little freezer burn, and then some of them look to be okay. All the peppers and most of the herbs look fine in the little high tunnel. And this is the Bermuda grass leading up to the big high tunnel, and it looks like it got a little frost or freeze on it. But you can see over there, we still got green Bermuda grass. So it was definitely sporadic, and like I said in my video a couple of days ago, my truck read 32 degrees, but my weather station said around 34. So it was probably going in and out of freezing just briefly, and it just touched, and it's so amazing to see how it touched just 1 acre of a property, how it touched a little bit here, but it didn't touch a little bit there. And you can see that tree still has leaves on it. Today we are headed for a high of 86. 86 degrees, guys, in the middle of November. Today I'm going to start building my raised bed soil, and we're going to use the Redmond Mineral Light. Guys, this is bioavailable humates, macro minerals, micro minerals with Redmond conditioner. The Redmond products are really superb, and we enjoy using them. We use the Redmond salt as well. But you can see here that it optimizes, enhances, and encourages. And this is a time to start getting your beds next year ready for planting in the spring. This 1 8-pound bag covers 640 square feet, so you don't need a lot of it. Let's dig into a little bit more of this. So this is for amending your soils for your gardens, raised bed, pasture, lawn, ornamental grasses, and containers. You need about it looks like 1 cup per 50 square feet. So each of those raised beds will probably get about 4 to 5 cups of this. This is derived from humic acids, volcanic ash, polyhalite. There's no shelf life, stores for long periods of time, and they are completely natural, no added chemicals. They are safe for humans, and this is excellent It is, without this web of organisms, soil-based nutrients would just sit there bound up in the molecules that plants cannot use. This is going to help your plants uptake what you put into your raised beds and your soils. And here is a little, kind of like a flow chart to tell you what it helps with. So you can see it's got nematodes, arthropods, protozoa, carbon, helps with photosynthesis. So this is really an excellent product to go ahead and try to obtain, guys. I just ordered it straight from their website. And go ahead and get your beds ready for next year or your planting area. Sorry guys, I need to back that up a little bit. My raised bed's are only about 24 square feet. So I'm only going to need probably about a half a cup per raised bed. So that stuff will go a long ways. Now I did order that small bag, but I also ordered a larger bag so that we can treat our compost piles and we can treat the big high tunnel and the little high tunnel as well. So there's really no freeze in the forecast, at least for the next 7 to 10 days. They say that may change around Thanksgiving. So there, again, there's kind of a battle between the YouTube weather forecasters and our local weatherman who recently retired. For those of you in the DFW area, you might know who I'm talking about. And he's kind of at a battle with them, telling them that they're trying to forecast too far out, and there's no way. But most, if not all of the YouTubers are saying we're going to get a cold blast the week of Thanksgiving. But right now, we look to be above average temperatures, at least until Wednesday, when we may get that rain. And even then, it's not going to get too cool. I think we're going to be, our lows are going to be in the 60s, which is about average for this time of year. But I don't see any below freezing temps. Before I treat this bed, I'm going to go ahead and pull up my white German potatoes. Now, guys, I popped these in a couple of months ago, and it wasn't necessarily to get eaten taters. It was to get some seed taters, because today is the middle of November. It'll be time to plant these sometime in January for a spring harvest. And I will tell you, I'm going to be honest with you, and it may be the way that I planted them, but I didn't get near as much luck, or it doesn't look like it, planting in this large raised bed as I do when I plant my taters in the small or in the 27-gallon containers. So that was an interesting experiment, but let's see what I got in here. So these are little taters. This would be a good seed tater. Let's pull up this one over here. Just little taters, see? And these have been in for quite some time. That'd be a good seed tater. Maybe the little one. And that one. So these were seed potatoes I bought from Annie's last spring and planted them, and I got a really good harvest from them when I planted them in the tubs in the little high tunnel. And I wanted to save some of those when I pulled those for seed taters in the spring. And that was my main reasoning here. I didn't want them to go, I didn't want them to spoil. I wanted to make sure and have some for planting. So I may get a couple. I may have to add to my repertoire. Because, yeah, it doesn't look like these prospered near as much as they did in those little high tunnels. I mean, in those little containers. Sorry. When I say little, high tunnel comes to mind. Yeah, there's really not much in there for me to use. Let's see what we got here. Now that might be a good seed tater, but see, something's been munching on it. But yeah, I'm not seeing where they really prospered. Now this is some really good soil. We treat our soil with mycorrhizal fungi as well. And I did coat these potatoes before I planted them with the fungi, because we want to keep this soil in these raised beds usable for every spring and every fall. This is normally my green bean bed. And I do very well with the Contari bush beans. But yeah, so we're going to get these little taters out, and we're going to set them aside inside the house so that we'll have some good seed taters in about 6 weeks. So not too bad. Like I said, if anything, I preserved them a little bit longer so that I could use them in the spring. So I'm going to put these in a cool, dark place inside And then when it comes time for me getting close to plant, I'm probably going to chit these a little bit and let them dry out. But you can see they're already trying to root out. This is what that golden goodness looks like. So I'm going to get a half a cup ready. So if you've been following us, you know that Greg and I grow organically using regenerative methods. This is perfect for that setup here in Texas or anywhere. But we're excited to get our hands on this, and we're gonna, I'm just gonna sprinkle it over this raised bed, and I'll do it again on that raised bed. And there's an area over here that I wanna do because I'll be planting maybe some flowers over there, but we want to have really good, strong soil for when we put our seeds in the ground next year. So this is about a 24 square foot bed. So that's why we only need about a half a cup, because you need a cup per 50 square feet. You can see it's pretty light, flows nicely. And we're supposed to get all that rain this week, so that'll help water some of this in, but I'm gonna water it in here when I complete it and get us some good soil going, guys. Now I'm going to get to spreading it in this raised bed. Now, if you were doing this in containers, it probably wouldn't take much more than a tablespoon. You would have to do the figuring, guys. So getting your containers ready for next year is pretty important. Yeah, this is going in really good. And like I said, it's very fine, so it spreads nicely. If you have a compost pile, throw some on it and mix it in and water it in really good. So I have 3 empty tubs here. I'm going to just sprinkle a little bit. Like I said, maybe not more than a tablespoon, just for these little areas, because we're going to need this. And when it rains this week, that's going to give us a good start on this. Now we'll have to add some potting mix to it next spring, but this at least will start to get watered in and start to nourish these buckets that get depleted pretty quick after we use them, guys. And here I have some beautiful Greek oregano that's still going, so I'm going to leave that alone for now. And this is some of my lemon balm. It died off a little bit, but then it reseeds itself and comes right back. I'm going to leave that alone as well. If you grow in containers like we do, these are 27-gallon containers, this 1 8-pound bag will go a long ways. My cabbage is getting ready to start to head out, guys. I'm so excited. It just looks so beautiful this year. It's really a beautiful day here, and you can see I have some green all throughout the backyard. We do have St. Augustine back here, but you can see that brown spot, that's that country grass. So since I've been watering the St. Augustine and stuff and not getting a dry freeze, it's really going to help our lawn for next year. Chickens are doing good. Pop's doing good. So it's going to be a gorgeous day today, but we do have a strong south wind and we are very dry. So it's going to be quite the warm day here in North Texas. It's going to be a beautiful day with a strong south wind, and so that's why we're keeping everything watered, because we are under high fire risk. Hopefully that's going to change this week. Again, no freeze anytime in the near future. If you're looking for something to get your raised beds and your containers and even your in-ground gardens going a little quicker, be sure and look up that Mineral Light by Redmonds. Redmonds has superior products, guys, and we just love them. So, yeah, pick you up a bag and start your treatment now, especially in North Texas, before we might get down to them cold temperatures. Love you all. See you soon. I hope this helped. If you're new to our channel, please subscribe, give us a thumbs up, and we'll see you soon.